Most people think the loudest person in the room is the most powerful. They're wrong. In fact, the person who speaks the least is often the one everyone ends up remembering. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that in a meeting, a classroom, or even a group of friends, there's always one quiet person who barely says anything? At first, nobody pays much attention to them, but then, when they finally speak, everyone listens. What do quiet people know that everyone else seems to miss? The answer has almost nothing to do with confidence and everything to do with psychology. Your brain is wired to notice what is rare. If 10 people are talking nonstop and one person stays silent, your mind automatically becomes curious about that silent person. You begin wondering, what are they thinking? Why aren't they talking? Do they know something I don't? Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates value. This is called the scarcity effect. We naturally place higher value on things that are less available. The same happens with words. When someone talks constantly, every sentence becomes a little less important. But when someone speaks only when they have something meaningful to say, every word carries more weight. Imagine two coworkers. One comments on everything, every meeting, every email, every conversation. People hear their voice all day long. The other listens carefully, takes notes, and rarely interrupts. Then, after everyone else has finished debating, they calmly offer one clear solution. Who do you think people remember? Usually, the second person. Not because they're smarter, because their words feel intentional. But here's something even more interesting. Quiet people often collect information while everyone else is busy trying to be heard. When you're talking, you're mostly repeating what you already know. Listening, you're learning what everyone else knows. That's a huge advantage. The best negotiators know this. The best detectives know this. Even the best interviewers know this. The more someone talks, the more they reveal. What they want, what they fear, what they value, and where they're emotionally vulnerable. A quiet observer notices patterns that others completely miss. Have you ever played chess? Beginners often rush their moves because they're excited. Experienced players pause. They study, they wait, they let their opponent reveal a strategy before making a decision. Life works the same way. Silence isn't hesitation. Sometimes it's calculation. But don't confuse being quiet with being shy. They're not the same thing. Shyness comes from fear of judgment. Intentional silence comes from control. One is driven by anxiety. The other is driven by awareness, and people can sense the difference. Here's another strange psychological effect. The less you try to impress people, the more interesting you often become. We've all met someone who constantly tries to prove how smart they are. After a while, it feels exhausting. Then there's the person who doesn't compete for attention. They're comfortable letting others shine. Ironically, that's the person people become curious about. Confidence doesn't always sound loud. Sometimes it sounds like patience. History is full of people who understood this. Many respected leaders were known more for listening than speaking. They asked thoughtful questions. They observed before acting. They didn't rush to fill every moment of silence, because silence isn't empty, it's information. Now here's the part most people never realize. In today's world, silence has become incredibly rare. Social media rewards constant opinions. Notifications demand instant reactions. Everyone feels pressure to respond immediately, but the people who pause before reacting often make better decisions. Your brain makes two kinds of choices: fast emotional decisions and slow thoughtful decisions. Silence gives the second system time to work. That single pause can prevent bad investments, damaged relationships, career mistakes, and words you'll wish you could take back. Of course, staying silent doesn't mean never speaking. That's not power. Power is knowing when your words will have the greatest impact. A perfectly timed sentence can change a conversation. A perfectly timed question can change someone's perspective. A perfectly timed silence can change everything. So the next time you feel pressured to speak just to fill the silence, don't. Observe, listen, think. Because while everyone else is busy trying to be noticed, the quiet person is busy understanding the room. And in the end, the people who understand the room are usually the ones who end up leading it. Sometimes, the strongest voice is the one that knows exactly when not to speak.